Hey y'all, welcome to the Devon A. Morris Unfiltered call-in show. Have a seat. Let's get ready. You have any questions? Come on, call in. Come on to that Discord channel. Do me a favor, get the unfiltered crew some finger snaps. We're ready to get started here. Mondays, 8 p.m. Every single Monday, we're here. I'm excited about it. Are you? Let's get this show started, y'all. The greatest scrum show on earth. I'll see y'all soon. Enjoy. Hello, everyone. I do not have my complete selection of sounds and all that great stuff that I put on because as you can see my background, I'm not where I normally am in the studio. Not at all. I'm actually traveling. I got a lot of interesting things that happened this week. Some of you all may have seen some of my emails. But first and foremost, my name is Devon Morris. This is the Unfiltered call-in show where we talk about Scrum, Agile, entrepreneurship, things like that. Today is a good day because on the first Mondays of the month, I like to open it up to see if anybody got good stories. So love to open it up, see if anybody got good stories. But the way we operate, how our agenda is, to keep it really simple, is we talk for about 5 minutes about, just some intro stuff. And then we talk about a topic. Today's topic is not having enough training, period. And I'm just going to be really blunt with you in terms of that topic. It's probably going to be a short topic, less than 10 minutes, because we don't need to talk long about that. And then we'll open the floor at that point for any good stories that people may have. So you are welcome to join in on the call-in show. Just know that if you're going to join in, I will not be having people join until, probably 15 to 20 minutes in. Then people will truly be able to join. So you will start off in the green room, and I will take people from there piece by piece, slowly but surely. I want to say hi to any guests that are here right now. As usual, when you come on in, make sure you introduce yourself, say hi to me. I see early people out here. AB, how you doing? Hopefully everything is going swell for you, going very well. You are using that certification to the nth degree. Patrick, my man, how you doing, brother? It's always great to see you. Hopefully things are going well for you and your family. So those kind of things are just simply amazing. That's nothing but goodness. Again, about 15 to 20 minutes after the hour is when we will start allowing people to come tell stories. And again, good or bad stories, whatever kind of stories you have, would love to hear those stories. As usual, if you have questions, this is the show for that. So you're welcome to join us for questions as well. But again, all that will happen 15, 20 minutes in the show. Now, the way we take questions is two ways. We take them by you phoning in. I say phone in, but that you just go ahead and jump on the interview, right? I drop the link in the chats, and if you click that link, it will send you to the interview spot. And again, there'll be a green room there, and you're welcome to sit there until I pull you up. Now, callers take priority, period, okay? One thing you won't see a lot from me today is me jumping around everything else, because I don't have a stand-up desk here, right? You see my back, you see my bike in the background, you see chairs, you see my mess, whatever it is. I'm just here in the hotel, okay? Now, the second way for you to get your questions answered is to drop them in the chat. If you drop them in the chat, I'll get to them. Just know it is preferred that you call in, because then we can have a conversation, okay? Now, what's going on I think next week I have a CSM CSPO and then a weekend CSPO before the end of the month as well. So I got those things going on. Doing a bunch of traveling here. It's been interesting, y'all. When I say interesting, man, let me tell you what's going on for real. Now, I am literally in Chicago, right? I'm in the south suburbs right now, but I'm in Chicago, right? And so I drove from Texas. We talk about 900 miles to get from where I live at to Chicago. So we're probably about 1,000 miles for real. Man, do you realize that my car engine blew? You know, after Texas, you get to a place called Oklahoma. In the middle of Oklahoma, hour and a half before Tulsa, car overheating. Man, blew a gasket. Seriously. I ain't lying to you, right? Not lying to you. Blew a gasket. Now I'm on my way to Chicago because I got a whole week of activities with my youngest daughter that is graduating from high school, literally, right? She actually graduated yesterday, so I was coming down here on Memorial Day, right? Just coming down on the Sunday before Memorial Day. I swear to you, man, 300 something miles into this ride, you know, 500 miles, something like that. Oh, no, about 300 miles away from where I live at. And we had this problem. Now I'm in the middle of bum F Egypt. I'm just in the middle of nowhere. So I had to get the car towed an hour and a half. Had to get the car towed an hour and a half to get it to a dealership. So and then they could tell me ultimately that the engine blew. I had to rent a car to drive the rest of the way here because I can't miss the activities. The moment I get here, I get a text message from my cousin who I went to her son's graduations and other folks' graduations down in Texas. She caught COVID. Guess who caught COVID, people? Do you understand? Guess who caught COVID? So I'm in Chicago. I'm riding my bike. I'm doing stuff, man. I got COVID. For real. So now I have to quarantine. I'm here for my daughter's activities, like the week full of activities, and now I have to quarantine, right? So I can't stay with my family. I got to bounce into a hotel so I can isolate myself. Do you understand? This is crazy. I'm still in the hotel, right? You know, so you got to quarantine for 5 days and do all these different things. So I had to immediately get to do all this kind of stuff, right? When I'm seeing my daughter, I had to see my daughter. I was able to see her off for prom, but I had to keep distance, even though I was in the 5 day zone, right? So Friday was prom, Sunday was actual graduation. I masked up everything. I didn't pay for a dinner, you know, and I can't even attend the dinner that I paid for. The good thing is, man, you know, I was able to get everything done. I'm still like quarantining because I got to go down to Indiana because my daughter is going to Indiana University. And I got to go down there with her. So, and then she got a new student orientation because she about to leave the country, y'all. She speaks Arabic and everything else. So she about to leave the country and go do some student stuff overseas before she actually starts college. So it's been a heck of a week for me. A heck of a week. So trust me, it's been going down for me. And that's okay. Because you know what? My voice ain't right. That's all right. I got some good old stuff here. Got me a tad bit of water. I done doubled up on making sure I got enough water because I missed the show Monday because I was asleep, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I was asleep. But I'm asymptomatic, man. I really don't have no symptoms, and it's really, really horrible. No, it's not horrible for me. It's horrible because, shoot, nobody can tell I got COVID. Nobody can tell that I caught it, right? I mean, I'm out the woods now. Everything's cool now. But I had nobody aches. I had no issues. I just had no real problems, right? So I'm good. Nothing really happened. I was like, it was just a bad time for it all to happen. Just really bad time for it all to happen, man. So you just got to stand up and you just got to do what you got to do. And, when it comes to your kids and your family, you just do it, man. That's what you do. I done worked hard for all these different things, and, I'm not going to miss certain things. Just not going to, COVID ain't going to knock me down, right? And so, literally, this week, car engine, boom. Got to make it to a graduation, senior activities, got to get down to, new school, college activities, and then call COVID, man. Ridiculous. But you know what, though? I'm here, man. I'm here. We here to do this for sure. Okay? This week, Scrum Gathering. So I spent a lot of my day-to-day actually in conference. I don't normally go and try to present at conferences. What I try to do is go in and fit in some kind of way, right? And so I've been doing things in the coaching clinic. If I did an amazing speaker today, Chris Gardner. If you don't know Chris Gardner is the guy who Will Smith played in The Pursuit of Happiness. Chris Gardner was the open speaker. He gave me some good information, man. If there's one thing I would tell you that came out of his presentation, I loved him. The one thing that came out of his presentation is you should be doing everything in your power to make your plan A work, because plan B sucks. And plan B sucks because if it didn't suck, it'd be plan A. That's the best thing I got out of that, man. So I always have a plan A. I always rock my plan A. I always try to crush that plan A. I never try to go out to plan B, but sometimes you have to abort mission and go out to plan B. But plan A is where I've been at all my life, right? So that was the best thing. If there was one nugget I can give you, it would be that nugget. And I wanted to attend the conference physically, but I'm glad that I took the option virtual. Plus, I had all this stuff to do with my daughter, so I knew I wasn't going to be able to be down and be there. And then I won't be able to really jump into it on Wednesday. So I'm going to say this to you all. For you all that's in the room, if you have an opportunity to go network, to go spend time with like-minded people, it's a part of training yourself. I know we got a topic. Today the topic is not enough training. But that's a part of training yourself. It just is. I don't know how else to put it, right? And we'll talk. For anybody who's concerned about me, when I say to you, I'm good, I'm good. I appreciate you, Patrick. Yeah, I'm straight, man. When I say I'm straight, I'm good. I just got a funny voice right now. That's okay. With what other people go through and how people have experienced death and everything else due to COVID, a lot of us know somebody or know of somebody who has died to COVID. My hearts go out to them. I'm asymptomatic for the most part, people. So that's a good thing. No complaints. As I say, I'm going to keep having some water because I'm probably not supposed to be talking a lot, but I'm going to do this show. So now, that being said, let's start, y'all. Let's start talking about this topic, right? Now, people have blamed me for being a guy that gives a lot of tough love. And the truth is, I give a lot of tough love. I don't have no reason not to give you tough love because you got an uncle or aunt or somebody in your family that does that for you, right? And if they don't, then just call me Uncle D. You understand? Just call me Uncle D. You understand? You ain't got to do Mr. Devon. It's okay. I love Mr. Devon. But Uncle D is what you can call me. You ain't got to call me the Scrum Preacher. Last week I was talking about lollipops and Scrum thoughts. You understand what I'm saying? I was doing it. So, little tough love today, okay? So here's the deal. Let's be for real about this. The topic of the day is not enough training. The first thing I'm going to say to you is get flipping trained. Get flipping trained. There's no reason for you to have the excuse of not being trained, because you can train yourself with a lot of information. Look, you did not hear me say get certified. I don't care what the topic is. Get yourself trained. There is more than enough books on almost every topic that exists on the planet Earth. I don't think anybody's creating any new information. To me, everything is a spinoff of another piece of information. So my statement to you clearly is really very simple. Train. There is no reason why you can't read a book. There's no reason why you can't find someone to teach you a topic. There's no reason why you can't do that. And buy an old book. If you ain't got too much money, go to the library and rent a book, man. But you have no excuses when it comes to getting trained. You have zero excuses. Because you know what? Let me tell you a secret. You may not know this. The Scrum Guide is free. For all you folks out there thinking about Scrum, the Scrum Guide is free. You ain't got to pay for the Scrum Guide, people. The internet is free for the most part, too. Because you can go to the library and get an internet card and get on the internet. So there's so much information. Now, I'm not going to say get all your information from the internet, because it's some crazy people out here writing some stuff. But you understand what I'm saying. There's no excuse for you not to get yourself trained. Now, if you're trying to make money off that training, you may need to get certified. Did you hear what I just said? If you're trying to make some money off that training, you probably need to get certified in that particular topic if a certification actually does exist. And when I say certified, get your degree, get your whatever state of education that says you did that level of educational work. Do that. But for me, that's about marketability. Marketability and training to me aren't the same thing. Yeah, you can get a training that's going to help you be more marketable. Yeah, you can take a training that can actually put you in a position where you're actually getting trained. You know, so perfect example. You come take a CSM class. In my CSM class, I'm going to make sure you know how to do Scrum. Period. You can get your certification and get trained. When you go become a PMP, a project management professional, you don't get trained, people. You don't get trained. Taking the PMP is something you got to go take a test for, and you have to truly earn that. And you don't have to do an ounce of training prior to taking that test. Do you understand? Now, some people will take a prep course for sure to help prepare. That's training. But the certification is not that. Does that make sense? So there's a difference between the two. Now, I will say to you, computers screen you. You know, I literally see somebody in here that says, hey, thank you, I attended Brandon Land. I'm glad you attended Brandon Land. Whoever said that, because it's not showing me your name, I am very glad you attended Brandon Land. You know why I'm glad you attended Brandon Land? Because that's saying to me you're doing something about your resume. You're doing something about your brand. Now, for those that don't know, Brandon Land is something that my boy put on. I got it from a good friend named John Signal. I recommend him to anybody. Go through the PMI Dallas chapter. He puts on a 5-hour information-rich program for like $30 to $50, whatever the price is, right? And it's amazing because he takes you through some stuff. And he taught me some things, you understand? And he's Bearded Eagle alum. So I trained him back in like 2014. You understand? So that's my boy. That's my boy. Okay? Because we beyond just mentee, mentor type. That's my boy. And when me and him talk, if he ain't being right or doing right, Uncle D, Uncle D come out. You understand? So, literally, make sure you understand that there's a difference between the two. Some of you all going to get these little CSM certifications or a PSM certification where you're getting no training. Did you hear what I just said? No training. You just take a test and pass that test and you're certified, but you're not trained. What I'm talking about right now is you making sure you're trained. Training helps to prepare you for things. Training gives you some practice at doing something. Training is going to help you when you need to do the dang on do. I was about to curse, but yeah, I said I didn't. I held my tongue. Do you understand? This is a PG place. PG-13, baby. Do you understand? So it's no joke. It is what it is, right? Be a boss. Be a boss, right? Another thing I will tell you is as you're getting trained, if you work inside of a company, look inside that company for opportunities to apply that training. Do you understand what I'm saying? I mean, if you can get yourself trained and you're inside of a company and you can find opportunities inside of that company, literally inside of that company to help you, that's a good thing, right? Because it helps you to practice those skills. So, and then when an opportunity comes up in that organization, hey, you could be top of mind. Does that make sense? Networking is good too. Networking is good too, because when you network, it's likely you may be attending a user group or you might be at a conference like the Scrum Gathering this week. Come on, y'all. The Scrum Gathering right now is virtual and in person. There's no reason that you can't spend that little money to go enjoy some of this knowledge. Literally, me seeing Chris Gardner today, man, inspired me. Do you understand? He reminded me of my plan A. He reminded me of my plan A, and he helped me inspire people today. You understand? Seriously. Seriously. So when you start thinking about it, when you just haven't been trained enough, it's a problem. Now, if you're working with teams and they're not trained enough, it is your job to help them get there. I'm not saying that you got the knowledge. Did you hear me? Did you hear what I just said? I didn't say you got the knowledge. I didn't say at all you got the knowledge. But you may be able to help them get that knowledge in some kind of way. You know, some people don't realize that they may need some training, right? And sometimes, you know, and so when I think about training, right, my definition of training is a transfer of learning or knowledge. I tend to think about training and I tend to think about gaining knowledge, skills, and abilities. KSAs is what I would call it, right? So you want to be able to up your KSAs is the point. You really want to be able to up your KSAs, okay? Your knowledge, your skills, and your abilities, okay? So really, really important. Here's the deal. Let me tell y'all a secret, right? I keep telling people I'm in a PhD program. Why am I telling you this? Because I'm going to get training, people. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? This is me going to get training. I don't know everything, but I want to have evidence. I want to be evidence-based in my conversations with every single one of you. And I want to make sure I tighten up my research. I want to make sure that when I present information to you and I say it works, I got evidence backing it up saying that it works. Do you understand? So for me, becoming a PhD is about me fighting with y'all. It's about me arguing with y'all. That's all it is. I just want to fight with people more. But in that fight, I want my fights to be evidence-based and based on data, not just my personal experience. Do you understand? So I can shut you down in conversation. Because with me, I like to shut people down. You understand? I like to shut people down. You understand where I'm coming from? Because when I shut you down, it ain't nothing you can say about it. You feel me? You just got to accept the butt whipping. From Uncle D. Woo! All right, so anyway, I'm not supposed to be loud like that. I'm in a hotel, y'all. Calm me down, calm me down, calm me down. Anyway. But anyway, the point is, I think we talked about the topic, okay? I'm actually past the time of the topic. So, what I'm going to say to you all is this is Monday Mayhem. Don't ask me why I called it Mayhem, Monday Mayhem, because Mayhem and Monday both starts with M's. That's really what it's all about. I guess my last name is M too. Start with M. But it's Monday Mayhem's first Monday of the month. I like to make sure we open up the gate here for good stories that you may have. If you have a good story, if you have a bad story, and you just want to talk about it a tad bit, Monday Mayhems is the day we do it, but that's only the first Mondays that I really jump out there and do it. If you have general questions, okay, you're welcome to drop those too. We can talk about those things too. So the lines are open, okay? I'm going to drop in the chat the link to the, to the place, for the place you come by and check me out. So I'll drop it on LinkedIn, and I'll also drop it on YouTube. I'm going to say to you all, because I never say it, make sure you like this video, whether you're on LinkedIn or YouTube, and go subscribe on YouTube. Go subscribe on YouTube. I think we have 530 something people that's involved on our LinkedIn. So if you happen to, that's on our YouTube, we got 534 subscribers. So love for you to subscribe, because by the end of the year, I'd love to get to 1,000 people. I just picked the number, right? Seems like a nice round figure to go get to. And so 1,000 people is kind of what we're going after to some degree. Now, just for you all on LinkedIn, I'll drop the thing to the actual YouTube channel real quick, and we'll go from there. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. Hopefully you all have been amazing. I see some wonderful people in here. Tawana, did you ever come up with your question? We had a good conversation today. We had a good conversation at the Scrum Gathering. I was very happy to see you there. I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of you, Tawana. I really am super proud of you. Okay? Y'all may not know Tawana, but I'm super proud of you, right? Because she is working as an Agile coach and a Scrum Master right now. And over a year ago, she was nowhere near that. You understand? She was nowhere near that. All right? And she got family now that's interested because she's having success. Okay? So I'm very proud of you, Tawana. Very, very serious, right? Evelyn, how you doing? I saw Patrick. I see Jennifer here. I saw AB. So it's always a pleasure to see all of you all. And I can't see your names because I don't know who's watching. But please, please, please keep doing wonderful and great stuff. Keep making your stories. Keep making that history. Keep making things actually happen. As people are thinking about whether they're going to join us and tell us about their stories, because I'd love to hear them. I'm going to tell you something that I did, and this is really the best way I can put it to you is this way, right? My youngest daughter, 18, she has a full ride scholarship to Indiana University. She speaks Arabic. Amazing young woman, right? Yesterday she graduated from high school, really top 5 in her class. This class earned, 240 something students, earned $65 million in scholarships. Do you understand? It's ridiculous, it's crazy, right? I couldn't think about that when I was a kid. And I see other schools that don't earn a fraction of that, right? And my daughter rounded out about $1 million worth of scholarships, right? So you start looking at these things and seeing the greatness that she was able to obtain. But let me tell you about something with me being a dad, right? With me being a dad, all right? Proud moment. I bought my daughter a necklace of a birthstone. It's a citrine or something like that. She's born in November, so citrine, and I learned that it's to ward off evil spirits. But let me tell you something, man. I gave her that. And then after that, I gave her first diamond ring from a man. And I just stood up in front of everybody in the family. I said, look, I want to be the first man to give my daughter a diamond ring. And I put it on whatever finger she wanted me to put it on. See, because what you have to understand, and the reason why this is, Monday Mayhem and talking about good stories, is because Scrum facilitated that. You see, for me, Scrum is a tool. You understand? It's always been a tool for me. Whatever it is that you do, man, I'm not going to tell you to do anything illegal, anything like that, but whatever it is you do, it should be a tool to facilitate your dreams. Do you understand? My grandmother raised me, and my grandmother didn't graduate from elementary school. So she was proud to see me get finished with high school. And I'm a high school dropout. You understand? And so I got a degree. I got a master's. I told myself I was going back to get a PhD when my daughter went to college. And I'm doing that, right? I started that. When she got a full ride, I enrolled. You understand? But forget all that. Forget all this teaching stuff, man. Forget all this going into organizations and helping them. I do all that to facilitate getting my daughter being the first man to give her a diamond ring in front of everybody in the family. I was so bold with it, man. I said to myself, I may even get on one knee and give it to her, just so she had that experience. But I said, I'm going to leave that for homie that may ask to marry her down the road. But I just made it super hard for whoever thinks about it. Because she getting all those firsts from me, period. You understand? I gave her pearls on her birthday, 18th birthday. You understand? We're going to go to some trips someplace, right? So realistically, my dream has been to set standards. Do you understand? From me being 5, I have always set standards for my family. And all I ever want to do is to continue to be the standard and continue to set the standard. So Scrum facilitates me setting standards. There ain't too many people that know about that, man. This is probably the first time I've mentioned this ever. I set standards is what I do. And I made that decision when I was 5 years old to always be in a position to set standards. And for any woman that's ever been in my life, I set standards. For any male friends, whatever it is, I set standards. Does that make sense? So really, really, really important, right? And I bring up that personal thing because without Scrum helped to facilitate it, people. Agile helped to facilitate that. Bearded Eagle, the business, helped to facilitate that. The relationships I have with you all help to facilitate that. You understand? Because you know what my goal is? My goal is to be a junk man. But I don't even want to really be a junk man when I've taken care of everybody after setting all the standards, to be truthful, right? I'll tell you one of the best things about getting my car towed, right, is when the tow truck driver came, he had a tow truck. My grandfather, who raised me, that wasn't biologically my grandfather, but he's my grandfather. His name is John Hughes. He raised me. And you know what? I'm just like John Hughes. And John Hughes drove a tow truck. And John Hughes retired to be a junk man. So all I'm doing is following the standard that was set for me. I'm setting standards. And when I'm done setting standards, my sunset will be I'm going to be a junk man. That's going to be my goal. But that's been my goal since I was 5, 6 years old, people. It ain't changed. I'm just a bigger version of that little guy back in the day. They used to like to dress up in suit and tie so he could look fancy and feel like he's some stuff, right? Who just wanted to be a big guy so he can take care of people, right? And that's what I do. I take care of my peeps, right? If you're in my circle, you know you're good. You feel me? So anyway, like I was saying, I don't see anybody that's coming on talking about the show or want to come on the show. That's fine. If you want to come on, you are welcome to jump on and we can talk about some of that good stuff that's happened. Please do. You're welcome to do that. I'm going to go ahead and start jumping and looking in the chat to see if there's any questions. I'm going to say thank you for the congratulations. Shanita, I appreciate it. Evelyn, Patrick, right? Bynum, thank you. LinkedIn people, they never show me your names. I have to go over to LinkedIn to look at your name. So, that's not good, but it is what it is. I can't get around it. Let's talk, okay? So I got a question here. Let's see. Monday Mayhem reminds me of one of my interview questions. That's a good thing. That's a good thing, right? That's a good thing. That's a plus. All right. So here's the first question. This was the question. Can you share some different techniques or ways by which you have done in your retrospective events? You know what, man? I'm gonna say this, right? Get some books. I remember I talked about books at one point. Get some books that help give you some activities. For me, if I take all the fluff away from it, a retrospective is really about talking about current state, understanding what your future state is, and figuring out how you're going to get there. And that classically turns into talking about goods, bads, and improvements. And you can run almost anything in order to get goods, bads, and improvements. Okay? So an example would be there's an activity from a guy named Luke Holman. He has a book on collaboration. And one of the activities he has in there is a sailboat activity where you take a big sheet of paper or you get a board or whatever, and you put a big sailboat in the middle of it. And then going counterclockwise, you have your goals. You have your goals on one side, okay? And then what you do is you go from your goals to there being rocks under the water. The rocks under the water are your risk, okay? And then you have anchors that are deployed that are slowing you down. Those are your issues, right? And then I think the last thing is the winds of change. The winds of change are the things that you're going to do to actually get rid of those issues, get around those actual risks, and ultimately get to your goal. That right there is like a game. It's an activity. And you can use something like that to actually help you in terms of this, period. Okay? In terms of doing a sailboat activity. It's a great one, right? And so that's one that you can utilize. There's a website, I'm probably not going to look it up right now, called Tasty Cupcakes. It has several activities on it. There's a book I like to utilize called Agile Retrospectives by Diane Larson and Esther Derby. Anybody that knows what I'm talking about, like the retrospective thing, the book, please drop it in the chat for them for me. Just do me a favor, somebody grab it for me and drop it in the chat for them. The Agile Retrospective is a good book. And if you know the Luke Holman's book, it's about collaboration. I think it's called Collaboration Games. Drop those two in the chat for me if you can, community, for everybody else. That will be helpful for me so that I don't have to look it up myself, right? I see that someone has said other things like, Mad Sad. I do a version of Mad Sad called Proud and Sorry, which is nothing but good and bad. Mad, sad, proud, sorry, good and bad. Let's see, the DI technique, start doing, stop doing, continuous doing, using idea boards. These are all great suggestions, right? And so you can find a way to do it, right? I've I have a classic retrospective that I do. I'll talk about it one day on the show, right? And spell it out for you. So then we can make sure we answer some other questions tonight. But I find retrospect, if there's one thing that I've always loved in terms of Scrum, it has always been, I've been super proud of the retrospectives. Super proud of the retrospectives. Because the retrospectives is the one real place where we get an opportunity to improve. And so I really try to take huge advantage of retrospectives and use them in a good way. And when I get to a place where the team doesn't feel like they want to have them anymore, then I just have parties at that point, right? I just do celebrations. I do things that will be helpful to them and get them out of the place where they're thinking about it. I remember one time, as I tell in class, I was in, what was that? I think it was not Toronto. I was someplace in Canada. I don't remember exactly where, but it wasn't Toronto. It wasn't Toronto. It was someplace else up in Canada, one of the big cities. I forget. And so I was working with a team up there, and we had some good stuff going on, but we had several retrospectives, and they just was tired of them. So I just took them out to have crepes, And as I say in class, that's when I learned that I don't like Nutella because I thought it was chocolate, and it ain't chocolate. And so I put that on the crepe, and it was not what I was expecting it to be, and I didn't like Nutella from that point on. But then I got a daughter that loves Nutella. Like my daughter Sarah, she loves Nutella, right? So I still had to buy it for the house, but I was putting Nutella on crepes, and I found it to be disgusting. But that's not to say that the brand is disgusting. You know what I should not be doing? I should not be talking about any brands because I don't normally talk about brands unless they sponsoring me. Anyway. Ain't that crazy? I don't wear name brand stuff because I like to wear North Face. If I could scratch their name off, I would. Anyway, that's just me. So that, in terms of retrospectives, I think there's a bunch of good things you can do. You can find ways to be creative. Just know for a retrospective, it takes me about 30 minutes to an hour to do a retrospective, depending on how complicated it is. But take your time and prepare for it. I see someone drop the Agile Retrospectives book in the chat there. There it go. On LinkedIn, and I seen is the name being dropped also on YouTube. So please go to one of those spaces and grab the book in whatever format that you want to, because I think that's a good exercise, especially for people that's beginning, because it just maps it out for you, right? It's a super easy map. So nothing really crazy about that, but I love retrospectives, man. I live for retrospectives. I was so much into retrospectives, man. I would time my retrospectives out. Like I would plan the whole hour. Like I would be like, okay, we started 05 after the hour, and then by 10 minutes after, I want to make sure that I have completed this thing. By 15 minutes hour, I want to make sure that I completed this thing. By 25 minutes after, I want to complete this thing. By this, I want to complete this thing. And I'd map it out for the whole hour, man. Like for real. Like no joke. This is how serious I would treat it. Especially when I was brand new Scrum Master, I definitely would map it out because it was easier for me to have a little map so I can manage the time. It was so much easier for me to manage the time because I know whether I needed to pick up the pace or slow the pace down. That's the reason why I can train well, because I'm good at managing time. and making sure that information is covered. That all comes from practice, right? And just practicing over the years by really taking, good notes and really holding myself accountable to maintaining a standard. Okay? And anybody that's taken my class, I have a standard. I have an expectation for you, right? And I have, you know what, y'all? Lollipops and Scrum Thoughts. Maybe that's the title of my book. 2023, I will be releasing my book, Setting the Standard. 2023, y'all. Nah, I'm BSing now. Don't hold me to that. Oh, you can hold me to that. You know why you can? Because we're not done with 2022, and I know I can write a book in 2 to 3 months. If you really put my foot to the fire, I probably can do it in a few weeks. Let me stop. You know what? I'd be entertaining myself for no reason at all. It'd be stupid. You know what, though? I don't embarrass my kids. They be like, it's just him. And the truth is, it's just me. I had another question here, so if you have any questions, please drop your questions. I'm going to go here and talk about the next question. Another student mentioned Jira and Miro, as she was studying. Okay, cool. What are the best ways to train in Jira and Miro? I would just look at some YouTube videos. Jira has a whole set of training. I mean, Jira's a whole tool, right? Jira's a whole suite of tools, right? Okay, so let's talk about this so then you all understand the differences, and it's not anything surprising, right? Over the years, there have grown a lot of tools that support the way you do work. Now, if you happen to use Scrum or Kanban or some traditional methodology or framework, then there are tools that support how you would do that work. So these kind of things grew up in project management tools because that was task-based, right? And so you can put the tasks together and sequence those tasks in a way so you can show how the work is going to get done. And so as Scrum and Agile and everything else grew, tools like Jira grew because I was introduced to Jira as I believe, an issue tracking tool way, way, way back in the day, okay? And if you look at Jira today, it's way more robust because they have a little bit of everything. They have everything, right? And if you put all the things together in terms of Jira, you can do an entire application. You got a whole application management system. And so when people normally refer to Jira, they're normally referring to the ability to be able to track their stuff that they're doing in relationship to an agile framework. And each one of these things will come up with a place where you put all your product backlog items. We classically call it a product backlog. And then you change them to different statuses, like you might pull some of those things into a sprint. They might go in progress. They might get to a state of done. And so you'll use something like Jira to have everybody work inside of, so we are collectively transparent. Does that make sense? And then Jira will spit out burn charts for you. Other people can go in the tool to see where people are at in terms of the work that they're doing. So it keeps things organized, right? And Jira's not the only one of those tools. You have the version 1s of the world, the CA Centrals. Microsoft has a suite of tools. IBM a suite of tools. HP a suite of tools. You have Salesforce has a suite of tools, right? And so everybody offers suites of tools to do these things. And so Jira would be one of them. Now, so I am I am literally I've been an administrator at Jira, man. I've been an administrator of the vast majority of these big tools. I have not been an administrator of the Salesforce tool. I really haven't. But all the rest of them I've been an administrator of. And there's things you can do to set certain things up and everything else, but they're all amazing tools, right? They're all amazing tools. I wouldn't recommend a single one of them because I think that your team needs to figure out the way that they work first and then pick a tool that matches the way that they work. I think that's a better way to do things because if you don't do it that way, then people will not utilize the tool as expected. So Jira is like an application lifecycle management tool. Or, no, let me say it this way. It's a part of an application lifecycle management tool. And you can utilize that as a standalone, or you can utilize that with the rest of the stuff that's offered alongside of Jira to make it a more complete experience based on how the work that you're doing, okay? Miro, Miro, or you might hear the words Mural, which is a competitor, or a Jamboard, which is a competitor, is like a visual collaboration tool. That's all it is. So if you think about if you think to yourself about a whiteboard, just a whiteboard, right? You think a whiteboard, right? And if you have a whiteboard, then what? You can put stickies on the whiteboard. You can draw on the whiteboard. You can put things in certain areas. You can take pages of papers and put them on a whiteboard. It's like a virtual whiteboard. That's all it is. But you can just collaborate with others in that virtual whiteboard like you are all standing at the same board. So just imagine a bunch of people standing at the board trying to collaborate. Well, what a Miro or the competition Mural or Jamboard will do is allow you to collaborate the same way but virtually through the computer. Okay? So Miro, Mural, Jamboard, just like Zoom, just got a tremendous amount of popularity once the pandemic hit. Tremendous amount of popularity. Okay? So these are they're all tools. And so I just want to separate Jira and Miro. They kind of operate in slightly separate spaces. They probably try to compete with each other. But you get the idea, okay? The best way to go about learning them is to just go look the stuff up on the internet. There's a lot of free tools on YouTube. Like I'm a YouTube junkie when I'm trying to learn something. Go there and learn. Back in the day, Jira had a suite of training, like a whole bunch of training you can go through. And so, and I think Jira as a company may even offer training. So just go ahead and either learn through some free ways of training or utilize whatever the company's official way of training is. But there should be more than enough training available for everyone, okay? So I think that's a good thing to do that. So hopefully that answers your questions, but it's just really a tool is what it is. They're both tools, okay? And there's way more options than just those two. So I always say to people, find what works for you. Always find what works for you, okay? Let's see. I'm going to double check to see if we have any other questions. Oh, yeah, thanks. Thanks in terms of my daughter. Love it. I appreciate it. I have another daughter that's finishing, she'll be finishing with a master's in like 4.5 years. You know, like literally, you know, she then completed college and went directly in that master's and ain't even got 4 years under her belt there. So I'm loving to see what people are doing. And yes, Atlassian makes Jira. That's true. So I had somebody say that, and that's, you know, that's just the truth, right? That's who makes it. Let's see. Yeah. Kiana gives me the fire emojis. Yes, I will write the book. I do think that's a dope name. Do y'all think that's a dope name? Set the standard. Setting the standard. That's a good name. Shoot, I'm gonna write it down. I want to write it down, but I ain't got no paper. I'm sitting on my computer talking about I want to write it down. Ain't that stupid? That's so stupid, right? I want to write it down. That's how you know you old school. You got to get pen and paper to doc. That is so stupid. So set the standard. I'm gonna write it down, and I'm gonna put 2023 next to it. It's gonna go on my list of goals, Kiana. I got you. You understand? I'm gonna make it happen. I told myself I need to be a movie director. Because I got all these stories, like family stories, because I've been doing genealogy for like 40 years. Y'all know. Y'all didn't know I'm not 25 years old. I know I look like I'm 25 years old. You know black don't crack. So you know, I'm kind of good. Anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that book for real. I'm gonna get to a couple books. I'm getting more excited about that kind of stuff. Here's a question. Do you have training for coaches who want to go into consultancy? That's interesting because I can do that, can't I? Because I have a whole company. Yes, I do. But as I told Tawanda today, I got a couple things that's going to be coming out for everybody. I got this big thing I'm doing called Fate Masters. That's coming. The consultancy training is coming. And we got a cohort for people who want to really be Scrum Masters and coaches as well. So we got several things that are coming out that I have touched and blessed. And it should be amazing and fun. So yeah, training for people that want to get into consultancy. We got that. So we're ready to do that as well. I'll tell you, a lot of things have slowed down for me because I was busy trying to get the last kid out. Yeah, I was busy trying to get the last kid out. And so now since the last kid is about to be in college, it's going to be about me going to college and being a Q. I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, in case nobody knew. You know, we kind of throw these kind of things up. But that's okay. I am that. My shield and Scrutian would be in the back, but I'm in the hotel. So that being said, I'm good to go. So anyway, if you was in Chicago, I would come give you a hug. Not with COVID though, because somebody told me I got the COVID cooties. You got the COVID cooties. I'm like, what? Let me hug you so you get the COVID cooties too. Yeah, no, genealogy I love, Kiana. I really do. When I tell you I love I've been doing genealogy since I was 8. As I tell people, and I'll say it here, and I write it in my book. I met the descendant of the slave owner that owned my family in Virginia. For real. One of the descendants. I ain't lying. I just had all these crazy experiences, right? It's interesting. So I just love it. You know what? I really don't jump in a bunch of agile coaching certs because I think that I have a whole philosophy about this whole coaching thing, and it's something that we need to talk about. Because there's coaching, which is not the same as agile coaching. They're two very different things. You know, and you may do some coaching as an agile coach, but coaching is very different. And the best way I can put it is coaching is about partnering. Agile coaches still need to be experts within the field of agile. And there's a very different thing when you are being the expert, like the consultant, versus being the coach. Very different. And people really don't get those nuances. But that's something to talk about in the future for sure. But yeah, wonderful thought. Yeah, it's true. I did meet that descendant, a slave owner, for real. I ain't gonna lie to you, right? Yeah, ain't no joke. For real. I done found some things I shouldn't have found. I done found secret uncles and aunts, and you know, I done did some stuff, right? But you know, I'm a good guy at the end of the day. I really am. But the one thing I'm gonna do is put you in your place. You know why I'm gonna put you in your place? Because I ain't got nothing to fear. I ain't got nobody that making me do anything. And you know what? I don't really care about getting fired either. It's always a pleasure, y'all. So, look, on Monday Mayhems, I do not want to be here by myself. You know, I want to hear good stories too. I like to hear y'all stories. A lot of y'all are having wonderful success out there. And I'm going to say this because I'm just going to call her out. Tawana, you should have came on the show. So you know I'm going to get you for not coming on the show with all that good success that you've had. And you need to spread some of that love, and people need to see your face so they can see that people can go from 0 to being a Scrum Master Agile coach in a year or so. I'm just saying. People inspired by your stories, okay? So all of you all, it has been a pleasure. I'm glad that we can meet in this virtual world where I can't give you COVID. I don't think I'm done with it, right? I can't give you COVID, okay? I'm glad I survived my car blowing up on me. Like, that's crazy. I spent a significant amount of money fixing that car, and they gonna replace the engine for free. It's the warranty, but they gonna replace it because they made a mistake. It wasn't my car. I got like a Ford F-150, man. You know, I'm not a Mercedes kind of guy. I'm a Ford F-150 kind of guy. I like to drive a truck because it make me look like I'm a worker, man. And I like to put a toolbox on the back so it look like I'm really gonna do something. But if you was to feel my hands, you would look at me and say, this dude ain't done no work in his life. That's because I use my brain. It is so stupid. But yeah, when you one day when you see me, shake my hand. For real. Say, Devon, I need to shake your hand. And see how soft my hands are. For real. And you know what? I don't use no lotion or nothing like that. Because I got this wonderful black skin and it naturally produces the things it needs to produce. Okay? Just does. It just does, right? And so I don't use no lotion on nothing. I actually put lotion on yesterday. You know why I put lotion on yesterday? Because I was going to my daughter's graduation. I really did put lotion on yesterday. I really did. I know that's too much information. I don't really care. Y'all family. Y'all family. Because it's Uncle D, y'all. Look, y'all, this is always a pleasure for me. I'm going to be here next Monday. I don't know where I'm going to be at, though. I'm going to be here next Monday, though. If you don't see my normal background, I don't care if I'm on the street. If I'm on the street, y'all should have saw me last week, man. I was in my car doing the training. I was in the rental car, sitting in the back seat, doing a training, like for real. Like, I should show y'all a clip of me being in the back of the car doing the training. Because I'm dedicated to this. Do you understand? Ain't no stopping me. Anyway, all right, y'all. That's about it. So, this has always been a pleasure. I love y'all. This is, hey, let's keep doing this. I'll see you all next week for sure. Hopefully my voice is completely back. Other than that, peace, everybody. I love you. Thank you so much. And I will see you next week. Subscribe, like the show. Because I need to get to 1,000 people. I don't know why I need to get to 1,000. It just sounds like a nice round number to me. All right, y'all. Uncle D out, y'all. I'll see y'all later, okay? Y'all enjoy the rest of your week. Make it a good one, all right? Bye-bye, everybody. I got to do this. I forgot to do this.